And now, around the world and around the corner, it's the David Bowers Awards, bringing the best in indie music to millions of listeners worldwide with your host, the David Bowers. We've got a fantastic lineup of guests, as well as our engineer extraordinaire, Nick the Geek, our entire crew here at the Asylum, and me. I'm John Bon Jovial. And now, here's the voice of indie music, the David Bowers.
I am indeed, and we do indeed have a fantastic list of guests today. We've got a couple coming in that are going to knock your socks off. Thank you very much, John Bon Jovial. So good to be here. So good to have you with us, listeners, for another hour of music on the David Bowers Awards. And we're going to kick things off with a, well, it's kind of a play on words. We're going to kick things off with The Doors music, only it's not the group The Doors. It's a gentleman by the name of Mike Sands, who is a Nashville singer-songwriter out of Stratford, Connecticut. You can put those together, and this is his brand new release, just released today. It is called Doors. Here it is.
I saw an image I could not understand, a door that led to nowhere. I tried to turn and walk away, but I was drawn to the mystery. What could be on the other side for me? It can lead to happiness, it can lead to despair. Doors can lead to anywhere. I had a dream, I was a shooting star. Then I faded into nothing. You can lose an opportunity if you're scared of the uncertainty. All you have to do is turn the key. It can lead to paradise, it can lead to a nightmare. Doors can lead to anywhere. Turn that knob, walk on through, find out what's in store for you. Take that chance, you'll be surprised. Who knows where your future lies? Dive right in, don't hesitate. You could be on the verge of something great. Don't stop now, for every dead end there's a new door just waiting to be opened. It can lead to happiness, it can lead to despair. Doors can lead to anywhere.
There you go. Shades of the 60s there, my old days in radio and before, and the false ending where just when you think it's ending, it comes back again. I'm sitting here waiting, is that going to end? I know you were, John, because you haven't heard it. Sit there. Wait a minute, that's not the ending. It's still playing.
It kind of reminded me of the Elvis song, and I'm having a brain fart on trying to remember what the name of the song was, but it fades out at the end and then comes back again. We're caught in a trap. I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Suspicious Minds. And it does it at the end of that, too. So, that's, he's like, he's pulling an Elvis.
Back in the late 50s and early 60s, that was a favorite trick that was used, probably overused in some cases, but there were a lot of, relatively speaking, there were a lot of hits that were using that little gimmick of the fade out, and then boom, they'd come back in. Some of them were a lot more aggressive than this one. I mean, they would fade out almost completely, and then boom, they'd come back and hit you. And
yep.
Yeah,
I remember that well. Absolutely. It was a trend, yes.
Preview these new releases, and I didn't always, as I'm sure most everybody in radio had that happen to them at one time or another. But anyway, that's Doors by a guy named Mike Sands, and that's his new song and video, which is out everywhere. You can find it on YouTube as well as all the known and familiar places online, and not an awful lot we could find out about Mike Sands, but I did find out that on this song, the featured studio musicians are Jerome Guzman, Matthew Downey, Michael Panaccio, Jarrett Weiser, Samantha Smith, and it was recorded at Mirrortone Studios in New York, mixed and mastered at Grey Wolf Studios in Nashville. And, of course, it was released through Megalith, Nashville Records. The video was done by Shelby and Conquest. So there you go. You've got all the information. You can check it out. Drop us a line. Tell us what you think of Doors by Mike Sands. Speaking of Doors, how are things in John Bon Jovial land this week?
Well, pretty much, I guess what you would refer to as SOSDD. I'm not really going to get into what the acronym means.
Same old stuff, right?
This is, same old stuff. Yeah, that's it. For the G-rated version. But it looks like the summer has broken, and it is, I should say maybe winter has broken because of the fact that it's just bizarrely hot for this time of year. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 70s for this time of year. And I think 3 days in a row now, we've gotten to 88 degrees. And all the locals, myself included, we're just kind of, grousing like, come on, no, not again, But, hey, it was our choice that we made to live here in the swamp. So, we made the bed, we lay in it.
Yeah, and in all truth and fairness, you do have some nice weather during the off season, but it's a good thing. You used summer is broken, summer and winter, and not said morning is broken because that would have been copyright infringement.
It's broken. Yeah,
and I have to laugh every time I see a complaint of copyright infringement, and I'm sensitive to it. I feel for the artists, but the thing that really bugs me is you hear all of this where a label or an artist or someone is suing somebody for copyright infringement, but then the poor sucker isn't making anything off the copyright anyway. He's making pennies off the copyright. Come on, give them a break. If you're going to hold them to a copyright, pay the sucker. Let them make some money off of it. The money, for those of you who aren't familiar with the record business, the money you make off of records doesn't pay for making the records. The only way you make money in the business anymore is on the personal appearances, on the road tours. And that's why you have artists that are really seriously hurting as bad as anybody else in the country is hurting from this last year of the COVID-induced lockdown and paralysis. These artists are out there starving to death. And I know a lot of artists that are doing a lot of crazy things. You've got artists that are out there driving for those, those independent driving cab type companies. You've got them working in, your quick stop stores, and it's crazy. They are really killing. And of course, they're writing and producing in their spare time. The one good thing that I think has come out of it is it has brought out the creativity of these artists more than it would have if we hadn't had all that downtime. But they are really struggling,
and even some of the
them.
weird jobs that they get to try to fulfill their bank account obligations can also lead to an inspiration to a song or an album, and as infuriating and as maddening as it might be, I know that myself personally, I think the singularly weirdest job that I've ever had was not in the radio business, which I've spent many years in, but back in 1969, 1970, I drove a cab in Miami, and boys and girls, you want to talk about some strange crap that goes on in the back seat of your taxi cab. Holy moly.
I can believe that, especially now. It's probably 10 times worse than it was back in the day. I could remember when I would have thought of doing that. I don't think I would think of driving a cab in today's society.
There's no way I would do it today. There's no way I'd let my kids or my grandkids do it. It is just way too dangerous. But back then, it never occurred to you that somebody might conk you over the head and steal, your small roll of cash that that you'd garnered over the evening from your rides, and
or the whole car.
Thank goodness it never happened to me. I know guys that it did happen to, though.
I'm not surprised, but that's the way of the world we live in. And right now, the way of the world we live in is music, and we're about to have a couple of great guests. We have Ritchie Dave Porter, who has been with us before, and we played his music, and he's coming back with some new music, one of which we previewed here a couple of weeks ago, and his new singing partner, Debra Susan. They'll be joining us in just about 4 or 5 minutes right after we listen to Ritchie Dave Porter's You've Got the Blues.